Warning: children should have proper supervision while watching and practicing the lessons in this DVD. Before going fishing, know your local rules and regulations. Have fun and be safe out there. Chapter 2: Casting.
Hey young anglers, casting can be fun, safe, and it's a very important step towards successful fishing. So let's talk about how you can build your casting skills and catch more fish. Kids, knowing why the rod bends and understanding how it's important to casting is critical to being a better angler. For one thing, the rod is made to bend from top to bottom, just like so. And you've always got to be careful of not bending the rod a short distance like this at the tip, because that's called candy caning and it will break the rod very quickly. Now, it's the spring in this rod that makes it a casting rod, right? That's what the rod's for, is casting and also fighting the fish. It's the spring action in it. But also you've got to be careful because it'll come right back to you, just like this. See, comes right back at you. So when you're making a cast, if you don't release the line, there's a good chance the line's going to come back right at you. Kids, so that you can better understand this rod, let's talk about it from top to bottom. Or maybe I should call it from tip to butt. This is the rod's tip, and the line runs through that tip. These are the guides, and the line runs through each guide. And when you put the line through the guide, you've got to make sure that the line runs through the center of each guide. This is called the grip right here, and this is called the butt section right here. Kids, there are quite a few different kinds of fishing reels. This is called a spin cast. This is the reel that I learned how to fish with when I was a kid, and a lot of other anglers learned with too. It's fairly easy. It's called a push button by some people too. You push the button down, and when you release it, the line comes out. This is the handle, and actually you keep the reel upright on the spin cast. It's got a spool, it's got a cover, and it's got a spool underneath the cover that holds the line. So it's a pretty basic fishing reel. It's got the drag on the top that you adjust, like so, and it's pretty easy to learn how to fish with. I recommend it for all beginning anglers. Just like we talked about earlier today with safety and rod handling, you've got to be careful when you're casting and make sure that you know what's behind you before you make that cast. A couple of quick tips on casting. The rod and reel only does what you tell it to do. So don't be afraid and just have confidence when you start casting. For one thing, it's best to leave about 6 inches of line hanging out the tip of your rod. You don't want to leave too much line hanging out, because if you do, you might hook you or someone around you, and you won't be as accurate with your cast either. The lure is going to go in the direction that you release it in. So, and timing is everything, and muscle memory is part of casting too. So it takes a little bit of practice over a couple of different times to really get it sharp. So it doesn't always happen right overnight, you know, but after a while it will. So when I point and I know I want to cast to an area, I typically point to that area with my rod tip before I even start my cast. I'll come back and I use the spring in the rod to project the lure out into the water. The bait or lure, whatever you're casting, you use your rod tip and you use the spring in the rod. So you'll point to where you're casting, you'll come back, and when you stop that abruptly, you release it at the same time. Kids, remember, it's important to feel comfortable when you're casting. So your feet should be positioned square to your body too. And you might want to put the foot out that you're casting with a little bit to give you a little bit more balance. And when you make your cast, what do you do first? You make sure there's nobody behind you. And remember, the timing of the release is important too, just as important as your stance. And let me give you for example. When you let go of this button, the line is going to come out of the reel. So if you go back and you release, oh my gosh, you done cast it all the way behind you. So you got to be careful of that, and you've got to just pay a little bit more attention first to the release. It's probably the most important part. When you release this button, just like so, you'll get more confidence and you'll have more accuracy with your cast if you use both hands. Hold one with the back handle, put the other one right on top of the reel with the thumb on top, and make a quick cast right over your shoulder. Remember, always look behind you too, and make that cast just like so. So one thing is, you don't want to get your hands in the wrong position and start in the wrong position. You want to make sure that you don't get your body in wrong positions. You have to be conscious of how much line's out of your reel when you're making your cast. You want to make sure that you're coming over the same shoulder that you're casting from. It makes it a lot easier with the two hands. It's the rod that does the cast, and it's the springing action of the rod. Using all arm and no risk is certainly one of the things we see young anglers do, and it's a no-no. Remember, use your wrist to make that cast. And also, it's timing, it's muscle memory, and it's practice, practice, practice. That's the way you're going to become a better angler, and you're going to catch more fish, kids, if you practice your casting and you practice good techniques from the beginning. Kids, you can have a lot of fun in your backyard practicing your cast while becoming a better angler. What I recommend you do is to get a couple of hula hoops and lay them out in your yard and do some practice casting to them. It works real well, and it's fairly simple, and you can just spend a few minutes every other day, every third day, and pretty soon you'll become quite the caster, and then you'll become a better angler. So go out there, practice your casting, and have fun, and be safe when you're doing it too.
Thanks for watching. Click here to view Chapter 3, Tackle. Please subscribe to our channel to watch the latest videos from Pure Ocean TV.